Hello, everybody. It's Granny. So, I wanted to get on tonight because I have a few things that I want to talk about. Um, I wanted to talk about Brian Koberger. There's so much being said, so much going on. Um, Probably one of my last videos was talking about how um, I just went blank. Anyway, talking about how the gag order and not letting cameras in the courtroom and saying, I told you guys, we need to be careful. And I guess that's really kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight because you know what? It hasn't stopped. It has not stopped. I kind of wanted to, I should say, speculation hasn't stopped. I'm going to share what I looked up tonight. Um, just going to share that with you. So, what is speculation? It's the forming of a theory or conjecture without firm evidence. Without firm evidence. Speculative evidence is not considered reliable and it is not allowed as evidence in court cases. Not allowed in evidence as court cases. So let's just look at that one more time. No firm evidence, remember that. Not allowed in court cases. While someone can make an educated guess about something and be correct, there is no way to verify that in the courtroom. And that's the thing, guys. That's the thing. Speculation can't be verified. Think back to the beginning of this case. How many, before they identified Brian, okay, how many people were named online? How many, and I have to think back to those people. Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, the other Jack. I think about how those guys felt when the internet was blaming them for unaliving the 4 Idaho students. Am I getting on my soapbox? Yeah, probably a little bit. And why? Because every time I go to watch a video about Brian Koberger, it's speculation. It's rarely facts. I'm going to just show you something. I even think I have it actually. But I had looked at a bunch of different headlines recently. Try to remember some of them. So, the secrets in Brian's bedroom. Dead eyes. The prosecution, the defense says the prosecution is caving or something like that. All kinds of stuff about he's going to be exonerated, and one of the most recent things I read was, or saw, I should say, is the DNA evidence on the sheath, on the knife sheath. So, stating, the genealogy and everything that goes along with that, and how um, there's problems with the way that it was brought forward, that kind of thing. And it, we don't know that. Not only that, the biggest thing that I have found is that what they did after was they took, because that they took a swab from Brian when they arrested him, right? And what they did there then was had that DNA tested against the DNA on the knife sheath. And it came back as 5.37 octillion times more likely to be Brian than anyone else, than any other known person. 25.37, that's like 27 zeros, guys. How much I don't understand that. I don't get it. How much more accurate can you get? Okay. So there's a lot of, like I said, speculation out there. There's a lot of things that are going on that are being said. So first of all, Brian is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I have not made up my mind as to whether he's innocent or whether he's guilty, because I have not heard all the facts. It's just where I'm sitting with this right now, because there's been a video going out about the car being seen on Linda Lane. There's just all kinds of stuff going on, and the witnesses, the victims, DM, BF, what's going on with them, what kind of exculpatory evidence does Bethany Funk have? We don't know. We don't know, guys. We have no clue. We don't know. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to speculate what it is. We have no idea. I also heard that, I heard someone that's actually from another country state that when they're going before the grand jury, they say, oh, nah, that doesn't look good, let's not put that in, or yeah, that looks good, let's put that in. Okay. So I watched Peter Tragos, a lawyer and he was actually talking about the grand jury and what they have to put in. They, not that they're going to put in all the evidence, right? They're not going to put it all in. But they have to put enough in for both sides so that the grand jury can make an informed decision. If they leave out exculpatory evidence, the prosecutor, they can answer for that. So they have to put that in. I would not expect somebody from another country to know that, but I'm just going on the record here saying that they have to put that in. Because otherwise they'll face, I don't know if they get sanctioned or what happens, but yeah, they have to put that in. Now, they're not going to put everything in, but they have to put enough in. And it was more than what was given in the PCA. So You guys, I just have a really hard time um, with all the speculation. I don't want any more people to get into um, court cases about it. Um, you know, it's all right to say, well, I heard this. What do you think? And if you guys have any of those questions, I'll be happy to answer those questions. I will look to find facts. But if I can't find facts for you, if I can't find anything that is factual against what you're asking me, I'm going to say I don't have any facts for you regarding that. So until the trial, we have to consider that speculation. We're not going to go there because speculation, as I stated earlier, cannot be used in a court of law. So I know also that there are people that believe Brian is innocent. Um, that's okay. If that's what you want to believe, I don't have a problem with that. I also know there are people that believe that Brian is guilty. That's okay too. I don't have an issue with that. For myself, I don't make a judgment about it until the court, until the trial, when all the evidence is brought forward. And even then, I think, sometimes um, all the evidence doesn't come out. I think, the judge leaves some of it out. Um, you know, some evidence can come in, some has to be kept out. And so, you know, it is what it is. But I am really hoping that everybody can just be strong, wait for the evidence, not listen to all the speculation that's out there. And and yes, like some of those headlines that I was telling you about, I know what they are. They're bait and hook, and I get that. Some people are looking for views. I get that too. But I don't think some people are looking for views. You know, um, I know that this video is probably very controversial right now. Um, and I am a small, small channel. I'm just getting started. And I'm just now starting to hit the ground running since my retirement just a few days ago. So it's going to take a while to build up this channel. And I realize that um, this topic, what I'm talking about tonight, is probably not a very popular topic. But you know what? That's okay. It's all right. Because I'd rather be honest with you guys and that you know that I have honesty and integrity versus just trying to get views, trying to get more subscribers. Do I want them? Of course I do. Of course. I'm not going to lie about that. But obviously, this wouldn't be the way to do it, right? Making people upset. And I'm not trying to make anybody upset. I'm just saying that we really need to watch what we're saying. We really need to be careful and follow the evidence, which right now, you guys know. The gag order is out there, and there's not a lot of evidence coming out. There is a place that we can look up and see when all the documents come out, but even them. So I've got like a hair in my eye. I hate that when that happens. But even those sometimes are sealed, so we're not getting or redacted, and we're not getting the whole of all of them. I've been trying to watch that site as much as I can. Um, when things are important, I will get up there and put those on there. Remember, guys, we want Brian to have a fair trial. don't we? Because we want whoever did this to have a fair trial, to be judged according to their peers in a fair trial. And I wouldn't want anything less for anyone. We need that. So, you know, although the gag order is very, very, extremely frustrating for all of us, it is. I get it. Because when this case happened, I mean, it like snowballed instantly. It's like I saw it on YouTube one day, and then the next day was everybody was talking about it, and then there was all the speculation. It was almost like I couldn't watch enough videos. Back then I was still working, so it was difficult to watch them all. But I couldn't watch enough videos to try and figure out what was all going on, what happened, what's this, what's that. And just to keep up with what was going on with it. You know, how many different scenarios came up about that food truck video. My goodness. You know, there was just so much that kept coming and coming, and so I get it. The thing that would really bother me, though, is if they did not allow cameras in the courtroom, and the judge hasn't made a complete decision about that yet. Right now, he's allowing them in, but we don't know what he's going to do, you know, when it comes time for court. Do I think the court case is going to be in October like they're saying? No, I do not. First of all, it does take a while to interview death penalty witnesses. A lot of time. Takes longer than interviewing a normal jury panel. So there's that, along with the fact that, you know, and I know right now the defense is pushing for a speedy trial, but I have a feeling that if Brian is going to fight this all the way, you know, if he continues to say he's innocent and he's going to fight this all the way out, I don't think it'll be in October. I'd be very surprised if it would be. But we'll see what happens. I just hope that you guys will stick with us. You'll remember that no matter what case I am talking about, it's always going to be about facts. I'll be sticking with the facts. Doesn't mean I won't talk about the speculation that's out there, like I brought up today. But I will talk about the speculation in relation to, is there a fact that covers that speculation? Okay? So, for example, the genealogy, DNA information, I don't know if information is the correct word, but dilemma that seems to be out there. Whether they use the genealogical evidence that they used for the PCA, or whether they use Brian's actual swab against that DNA. I mean, actually, I would expect them to use Brian's actual swab because it's 5.37 octillion times more likely to be him than anybody else. That's going to be a pretty rough one for the defense to try and poke holes in, right? They can say somebody planted it there. I mean, really, were they placed it underneath Maddie's body, like just partially underneath her body? Really, they did that? I mean, that makes no sense, correct? What? Why would you do that? Um, and they also have a receipt showing that he bought that type of K-bar knife. So even though they don't have the knife, you guys, evidence is pretty strong so far. Does that mean I think that Brian is guilty? No. I'm going to wait for the trial, wait for all the evidence to come out, and then I will make my decision based upon reasonable doubt. I'm curious, have you guys ever been on a jury? Let me know which one of you, which of you have been on a jury before. I was on a jury. Um, One of my takeaways from it was that I think I've gotten better over the years, but I was pretty young, and I remember it was like a week-long trial, um, and I would go home every night with just excruciating headache, because during the day I was listening so closely. I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything, and as a result, at night I'd go home with just a excruciating headache. I must have had my my face like this, like listening, and I just had the worst headache that I could ever tell you every single day because I listened so intently. Um, Probably didn't look away, and when it came time to deliberate with my fellow jurors, we went by the facts, you know. And that's one thing I've got to say that I have seen is that when jurors are in a courtroom like that, they take that very seriously. I took it very seriously. Um, I didn't honestly, I wish I would have, but I didn't honestly think of it as doing my duty or anything like that. What I thought of was someone entrusted me enough to come back with a factual response, um, you know, and so I was going to do what was right. It's kind of like a matter of right and wrong. It's a morality choice, right? Because you're sitting there and you know you're trying to make a decision about a person, um, or the circumstance or whatever it may be. And I remember thinking there was a few times, like I said, I was younger. There was a few times some things would go into my head, like, oh, you know, just something snarky. It's the only word I can think of for it. Snarky. Something like about the person's attitude or demeanor, and kind of like how they're talking about Brian, iciness, coldness, dead stare, dead eyes, blank stare. I mean, you know, that's snarky. That's snarky. I have no other word for it, but that's snarky. Maybe that's a granny word. Okay. I think I'll use that. It's a granny word, snarky. When people are talking about, yeah. Anyway, so that'll be my that'll be my new word, snarky. Being snarky when they're not being nice and when they're not looking at what they're supposed to be looking at. Snarky and speculative, okay? That'll be me. So that's basically all I came on here to talk about was Brian, talking about speculation, um, you know, what we all think, um, And I'm not even going to really attempt to touch the Linda Lane videos. I don't think that there's enough there. I don't even know that that would. I I'd be surprised if that was used in court. Honestly, there's not enough there. Um, and the defense could use that so easily because there's not enough there. If you zoomed in, then what you're doing is you're manipulating the video. So the defense can use that to poke holes. You want to be really careful of stuff like that. Um, we talked about the defense wanted the training videos. I heard that they were getting them. They also talked about in discovery process something about DNA from 3 other males at the scene, at the crime scene. You guys, that was a party house. I would be honestly shocked if there weren't more than 3 sets of DNA from males that were at that place. Because how many times did you see videos of, I think there was 2 or 3 videos of the police having to go to that house. And one of them was just before, I believe, just before, couple weeks before this incident happened. So, lots of males in that, and I'm sure you're going to find DNA there, right? So that's all I have to say on the subject. You won't hear me talking speculation. If you've got questions about speculation that's out there, please come to me. I will see what I can find out for you fact-wise, and I'll talk to you about it. I have not a problem talking about that at all. I think the biggest thing that really bothers me right now, though, is that all of the emphasis is on Brian right now. And that's what happens in these cases. And the victims kind of get pushed by the wayside, right? In the beginning, I made a short video. And I just kind of would like to share that with you guys, if you wouldn't mind. All right. So that just kind of helps us to remember why this whole thing started in the first place, right? It's about the victims and their families, and we need to keep them in prayer. Um, 4 young lives cut down much too early, much too early. All right. Well, thank you guys. There'll be another video popping up, I think around 12 o'clock. So if you're up, you can watch that one. Otherwise, there'll be more tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.